Hi, I'm Bill Hobson, and I'd like to take just a couple of moments to speak with a portion of our audience that is really hurting tonight. I'm talking about football dads and their sons. Now, before I go any further, I know there are some of you who are saying, who really cares about whether or not football has been put off in an age of the pandemic? Well, I can answer that question for you. A lot of men and a lot of their sons and a lot of football moms, by the way, because at least in my home state of Michigan, this has been a pretty ugly week for that sport that so many have looked forward to and have trained for months and years, looking forward to the season ahead. Now, earlier in the week, the Big Ten announced that it was postponing its season until the spring. I think we all know that's not going to happen. But for those with high school age football players, there was still hope being held on to, clung on to desperately, that a season could still take place. The Michigan High School Athletic Association had promised an update by the 20th of August, and instead, on Friday afternoon, they lowered the boom, announcing that football was going to be postponed until spring. I know firsthand, because of some family members involved in high school football, that this was a devastating blow. These young men have been working their tails off in the weight room, in the conditioning areas, in every way, just eating, sleeping, and breathing football. And I know what you're saying. For those of you who aren't into the sport, you're thinking, well, that's not healthy to begin with. I beg to differ. I think it is healthy to train your body, to train your mind, to aim for a goal, to shoot for something. And now, through no fault of their own, of course, to have it all ripped out from under them is proving to be quite devastating. And so, if you don't mind, I'd like to share just 3 thoughts for football dads and their sons. And moms, if you want to be a part of this as well, you are more than welcome. I don't want to exclude you. I'm just thinking right now about those dads and how much pride they take in watching their sons break through that tunnel, run out onto the field, hear their name over the speakers, and whether or not they will ever play after high school, these are those times that remain in a male's memory bank forever. And so, especially for those with high school seniors, this has been a rough day. And for those of you watching this from other states, your time's, if it hasn't already arrived, it's coming. Let me just share 3 quick thoughts, please, from a dad who cares. Number 1, I know your son is livid, crushed, devastated, sad, ready to just fight something that he can't really identify. Dad and mom, avoid climbing into that well of despair with them. Don't share your anger and your frustration aloud in a way that's disrespectful to the authorities that have made the decision. Instead, this is a wonderful opportunity to show your son how a mature adult handles adversity. So instead of becoming a fellow protester and outraged and indignant in a very outspoken way, let them vent. Let them have their thoughts. Let them say their piece. And then come alongside and say, okay, you get that out of your system. Now let's move forward. Because number 2, this is a wonderful time to share an important reality that all of us as adults know pretty darn well. Life is not always fair. There will be a whole list of times in the years ahead for your son where life is even more unkind than what he has just experienced in having his football season ripped away from him. And so what a time for adults to be able to say, I know, I get it. I feel you. I hear you. I fully understand. I'm right there with you, but I want you to know something. This is a wonderful time to develop how you handle adversity. So let's put some ideas together. And point number 3 is to take that frustration and this opportunity to kind of share a life lesson and channel that energy, that adrenaline, that drive that was being saved up for Friday Night Lights, and put it into something constructive that you can do together. It might even be the formation of some new tradition. Maybe it's the teaching of a skill. Maybe it's getting away and going to do something. Because if you can take this moment, if you can take this kick in the gut, this kick in the teeth, and turn it into something that 30 years from now will provide even more lasting memories than the big victory over the arch rival, then you have done the right thing with an awful time. That's my encouragement to football moms and dads and their sons. This this isn't what you signed up for. You didn't deserve it. This is what you got. But as we all know, there are times when life is unkind. Here's the thing. And if you're a person of faith, you already know this. We actually don't get to write the script of life. If we did, it would be a huge mess. So we have to put our trust and our faith in the author and perfecter of our faith. In my life, that's Christ. I hope that's the case for you, because it does help us put kind of a bigger picture on these momentary disappointments. And I hope you're able to take this time and turn it around in some way for good, because frankly, this entire pandemic mess has been a golden opportunity to wallow in depression and sadness and anger. And I hope you're not spending it that way. I hope you're able to look beyond that and realize the opportunity to do something very different.